recording. Video starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So today we are going to do a quick unboxing of our next project, the Void Dragon, which was recently launched. Okay, so this is a medium-sized miniature. So we're just going to pull it out of the box right here, and let's see what's in the box. So you can see that the instructions are in full color, which is very helpful and a marked improvement from the past. And every step is pretty detailed, and it shows the miniature in different angles, and that really is helpful. And these are the stats. More of the stats and abilities are available online, so go check that out. Alright, so with the Void, you have 3 head options, 2 energy glows and 1 mask option. I will be assembling mine using the mask option because I think that the mask option kind of looks like the Faceless Void from Dota, and I used to play Dota a lot. Alright, so the parts are really very fragile. The model is as fragile as it looks, so do be very careful when snipping off the parts. Right here, what we are doing with the parts is that we are leaving a bit of the sprue on the part, and gently we're going to be clipping off the excess so as to not deform any of the very fragile bits. As you can see here, the warp lightning is just really very fragile. Alright, so now we have assembled the entire miniature, and what I realized is that all the lightningy bits can be done separately. You don't need to glue them on the base on the first instance, so that you can still disassemble them and get to paint the base. And look at the Void Dragon. So I'm just gonna put the lightningy bits with the Void Dragon to give you a size estimate of how tall he is. So he stands pretty tall. I would say that it's a pretty good size model for just 1 sprue. I'm surprised how much you can build with 1 sprue, and this is excluding his wings. Some tips that I will give you when assembling the Void Dragon is that do follow the instructions to the bone. Do them step by step, because I was trying to be a little bit smart, and I assembled the left hand after I've put on the chest piece, and you would see that there's a shard that goes within his chest, and it made assembling the left bicep really difficult, and I do not recommend this to anybody. Okay, so yes, follow the instructions and you shouldn't go too far. Parts fit really well, as you can see right here. There is only gap filling required on the Void Dragon's body, because the Void Dragon it's an organic looking miniature, and if you don't fill these gaps, they will look very obvious. Currently what I'm doing right now is I'm using Vallejo plastic putty. The Vallejo plastic putty is currently thinned down with a little bit of water to allow it to flow better, and I'm brushing the plastic putty perpendicular to the model, so this allows the putty to fill in the gaps, so that when I'm sanding down the miniature, what's left is that the putty has removed the joint marks, and it won't look as obvious when we are painting them. Okay, so you might also notice that I'm also using a wet brush to clean up the excess putty that is on the side of a miniature. You don't want too much putty on the miniature and not in the gaps, because the putty still does create some degree of texture. Alright, So now we're going to work on more of the muscles. Because the miniature is joined together using, like say for example, the leg was done front and back, the middle seam will be very obvious and you will have to fill that up. So while assembling this miniature, I find that this miniature is really interesting because most of the miniature is actually hollow, and instead of allowing the miniature to just be hollow, Games Workshop has opted to do a sort of like see-through manifesting design on this Void Dragon, which I find adds a lot of interest to the miniature. This is because the viewer is able to look inside the miniature, and it makes this Void Dragon not just have surface on the outside to be painted, but also the inside surfaces can also be points of interest to allow the viewer to understand and perceive the model more. As you can see on this right thigh right here, what's really nice is that the miniature, it looks like the right thigh was not, it's just freshly forming up in this digital camo style, and I think that it's really awesome. Alright, just drying this miniature before we go on to sand down the excess gap filling putty which is left on the model currently. Alright, so all dry, and now we are going to sand down the excess. What I have right here is a 1000 grit sanding sponge, because Vallejo modeling putty, Vallejo gap filling putty is kind of powdery when dry. You don't really need a very aggressive sandpaper to sand down the details. Alright, and because I'm using a relatively higher grit sandpaper, it leaves a smoother finish onto the miniature, which enables me to do smoother blends and smoother transitions without worrying too much about the texture. And I highly recommend using a sanding sponge to do this, because the Void Dragon is essentially a nude person, and you don't want to have any straights or flat areas which would make the miniature look like a robot. So a sanding sponge, because it's soft, it's able to bend with the curves and get into some of those nooks and crannies and get the excess putty sanded down, and what's left behind is, well, the gap that is filled up by the Vallejo gap filling putty. Alright, so just checking on some of the extra areas. I also found that this miniature, because it's so textured and detailed, is that there are definitely chances that you will leave some nubs behind, because everything looks like a flying rock, everything looks like a piece of lightning, and do give the miniature a good check before you start painting and priming them. You don't want to leave any of the nubs behind. Okay, now I'm gonna be talking about the sub-assemblies. So how I will be painting the miniature is that I'm leaving the body in a separate piece. I'm having the lightning separate from the base so that I can do the overbrush technique on the base. I'm leaving the spine separate so that this spine can be painted in an overbrush manner. And I'm also leaving the wings apart because they are really fragile. Yep, I hope you like this unboxing. Do let me know if you want me to do more unboxing, because yeah, we are really new to this unboxing thing, and I'll see you soon.